The whole childhood wonder stage just blew right past you, didn't it?
Look at the size of that whammer!
Wham! Cause that.
Triple whammy. Not the triple whammy.
Good morning, my little chickadees, my fluffers and my whammers. Welcome once again to the great caving wham, where we get our spades, we get our picks, and we get our axes, and we dig down into the whamming mountains, to the hall of the whamming king, where we take everything that he has ever once desired. That's right, it's wham. I'm Adam, that's Andy, and we're going to wham our way through Warhammer Monthly issue 24.
I didn't sign on for manual fucking labour. I'm assuming I can delegate. I thought I was kind of like managerial / supervisory.
Yeah, as the Lord Whammerans that we are, we get to sit on our whamming thrones and just tell the whamming peons to get on with it.
That's all right then. That's fine. Carry on then.
Yeah, obviously we need to have some large oiled up whammers carrying the whamming thrones around.
Oh yes. All I can think of is like, how does an elephant and horrific imperialist tropes?
Yeah.
It's like, well, undermine the generally quite ethical message we've tried to convey over the last 20-odd episodes, and just go, no, we're reverting to type. That's right, you can't trust the British, they're just fucking horrible.
In my defence, I've just finished reading The Complete Solomon Kane, so unfortunately, there is a certain imperialistic mindset that I'm struggling to get out from underneath. Also, good lord, there is some horrific racism in those books.
Oh, yes. It's the thing of like any kind of all fantasy, just because it moves with the times, and as I've kind of said before, it's not about what was acceptable, because this is never acceptable, but it's about what was permissible.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Again, it goes back to the whole, like, everybody loves Lovecraftian style horror, but fuck me, what a small-minded, bigoted little tit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I mean, Lovecraft was scared. Lovecraft was scared of the Spanish, for Christ's sake. You know. Although, saying that, I read Goldfinger last year. First James Bond book I've ever read. Right? Ian Fleming was a weirdly racist human being.
Oh yes, there's some. It's not just racist; they're homophobic.
Oh yeah.
Someone told me there was I can't for the life of me remember it, but there was a really weird thing he said about how you could spot a homosexual.
Oh yeah.
In the books, I can't remember for the life of me what it was. It's horrid, but it's also at the same time, when you read it, ridiculous as fuck.
Yeah. There is no way I can believe that anyone took Ian Fleming seriously when those James Bond books. Yeah, they are some of the stupidest nonsense I have ever come. Why is he so racist against the Belgians? Out of all of the people in the world, why is he focused in on the Belgians? It's so weird.
Yeah. Again, it's the revisionist thing about as things go on, and they get their place in sort of cultural history. 2 seconds. We have someone doing the doors, and my dog isn't happy that there is a person in that. Yeah, so I'll just go back to it's the kind of revisionist thing that happens as things that achieve their place in pop culture and pop and literary culture, and they kind of go, right, these things have a weight that they were never designed to be.
Yeah.
It's like that was populist entertainment.
Yeah.
And in the same way that Dickens and Shakespeare was. And it's like, people decide that they're classics.
Yeah, well after the fact, and a lot of the times. Dickens was a penniless pauper for most of his life.
Well, Shakespeare wasn't much better for vast ways of it either.
No, very true.
And the big thing about Shakespeare is Shakespeare being read isn't great. Shakespeare's for performing.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's why there are generations of people who hate Shakespeare from our era growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you got a horrible English teacher who just got you to read the book, you hate Shakespeare. Because it's about the performance, it's about the language, about interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start enjoying Shakespeare until I started being a theatre kid. You know, the difference between reading Out, Brief Candle and performing Out, Brief Candle, Life is but a walking shadow is a multitude of difference.
Well, again, we had an English teacher in high school that got us into, we did The Merchant of Venice, and when you realise it's just a body innuendo-filled kind of the almost a prototype for Carry On, centuries before Carry On, with a lot more class.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, but once, the thing is, she made everyone in that class interested in it, including the kids that just didn't read or weren't interested in it because it's like, no, this speaks to people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's the same. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet is pitch perfect.
Yep.
Because Romeo and Juliet is not a great love story. It's about gangs and kids shagging.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how things don't change, isn't it?
Yeah. People are how they are, which is why people are still unfortunately racist, transphobic, and homophobic, and all the other phobics you'd like to mention.
Yes,
but and again, the British Empire as it still stands in its nigh on 90-year death throw, still causing problems and being shit.
Yep.
I just recently filled out the Home Office consultation on the settling rights for migrants and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole you have to earn your citizenship rather than get your citizenship.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Mate, which kind of makes me think that given how horrific we actually are right now, that kind of they've been a bit tame in the world of Warhammer 40,000 in terms of how shit humanity will be to humanity.
Well, I suppose in the grimdark future of the 41st millennium, white and black will gang up on green. Yeah, but then I suppose as well in 40k, the majority of people are little shit farmers, and they exist purely to shovel the shit from one shithole to the next shithole. And it doesn't really matter if they live or die as long as the shit is shoveled.
I'm not being funny, but that really doesn't sound much different to where we are in the year of our Lord 2026 for a vast lot of people.
No, and we don't even get the cybernetics. God damn it.
Yeah.
I've said it for a while now. We're living in a cyberpunk dystopia. It's just really, really boring.
Yes, it's the most unambitious one.
Yeah. It's like, I want to have the splatterpunk gangs rolling around in Mad Max vehicles. I want to wear bright neon clothes and spend my evenings, hacking in cyber cafes. And it's just can't be bothered. It's not interesting. Yeah. Anyhow, speaking of dystopian futures and the futures that are slightly more fun than the one that we're in, we've got Warhammer Monthly, issue 24. We have...
Right.
I don't know why, but you just going, that's right, just tickles me somewhat.
Yeah, but 2 years in.
Yes.
So let's take a look. Just before we discuss the comic, to kind of go, that's not, again, even in that, it's like a monthly black and white newsstand UK comic, and obviously sold in shops, but this was still easy to get. I said, aside from, I would say, my feud with the other person who was buying it in Dunfermline, who's I'll probably never know, and he probably doesn't know I exist, but for a time, we were enemies. Sworn enemies.
If you are that person, please get in contact.
And then I'll find out you actually know them and then go, right, you never said yet. Rick. But
Is your next door neighbour?
it's when you got the first comic for Warhammer, just to go back, did you think it would last in your heart of hearts?
No.
Did you think it had left?
No, I didn't. Now, I can actually answer that quite well because I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine who was at the War Games Club that I used to go to, because the first issue came out and I'd got it on my way to War Games on a Tuesday night. Really excited. Look at this. And we were talking about it and we were saying that it probably would be, a year maybe? No more than that. Yeah, you'd get maybe 12 issues out of it. But then it'll do what Games Workshop always did at that point, which would move on to the next thing. So the fact that we're now 2 years into it is something of a surprise. Or at least it wasn't. Oh, this would be around about the point where I started to tail out.
Yeah, this is pretty much me in the getting near the death throes, because I still ran our games, our sort of game, most of the Games Workshop stuff club for a while after this, but my interest, I was just running it because someone needed to run it.
Yeah.
My engagement was kind of we're about to tap out entirely.
But November 1999, I wasn't getting White Dwarf anymore. I think I've only maybe got 2 or 3 months left of Warhammer Monthly. Inferno, I think I still got for another 6 to 7 months or something like that. I was well into the 2000 before I gave up on Inferno. Miniatures wise, I think the last miniatures I bought from that run would have been a Tower and a Kroot box set.
Yeah. I'd already tapped out of miniature buying by that point, because I had enough at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I had a massive, pretty much almost close to chapter strong epic 40,000 Dark Angels army.
Nice.
Don't do things by fucking halves, kids.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I had my Chaos Dwarf army, my about 6 Blood Bowl teams by this point. And obviously the army. We had Man of War because we managed it. We knew someone who had the box set, so we bought it off them. And then this was still at the point where you could actually get the models from James Workshop from the Citadel catalogue if you had the references still.
Yep.
So did that, and I'd just gotten a load of old early Citadel 40k stuff, and so I had like all the original Land Speeder, the original Shitty Dreadnought, some of the TBO1 set I had.
Mm-hmm.
Your Daft Bike, the name, the James Black Shadow or whatever it's.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yep.
So I'd just gotten a whole host of that from a friend who was getting out of the who'd gotten out of the hobby, and he's like, "Do you want it for nothing?" It's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." So
absolutely, yes.
Not really know the heritage, just some of it being quite interesting. And it's like, but yeah, that was. So I didn't really need to buy anything, and anything new that was coming out, it was like, it's like, no, you're all right. Let's say, wasn't really interested in the Tau.
Mm-hmm.
So. As was said quite derisively at the time by those of us that were wee Appleseed-looking motherfuckers.
I know that when Mordheim dropped, I got into Mordheim for a couple of years, but that was literally it. It was just Mordheim.
Mordheim didn't. I think we bought the set for the club.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone cared about it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because anything with a more role-play aspect didn't seem to land, because we got Warhammer Quest, and a few of us that really liked it, but nobody else got into it at all.
That's a shame.
And we got... Yeah, one of these things, it didn't seem to be that anyone in our neck of the woods was into kind of any sort of role-play.
Yeah.
Because I was about one of the few, because I still had my Marvel Superheroes KSR set.
Mm-hmm.
Represent.
Absolutely.
Again, but not many were really into it. They did prefer kind of the miniature tabletop.
Yeah.
aspect of it, and it kind of for a club, it does lend itself well because you kind of have, because we had basically 3 hours a week. It was like a Friday 6 till 9,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 hours lends itself to reasonable sized game of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
Very good game of Blood Bowl. Chaos Wars Cage 2-1. I'll win every time.
Absolutely. They were an unstoppable team back in the day.
Well, only once you got up,
Yeah.
at one point is use the Citadel and Journal rules, and you could have the Bull Centaurs.
Yeah.
That's when I suddenly became like mid to upper mid table to I'm top, or close, because you'll outscore me, but I'll knock 7 shades out of it because I've got two Bull Centaurs that I can level up, 6 Chaos Dwarves. I have to field a few Hobgoblins to start with.
Yep.
Aye. I didn't even cheat with the allies rules and take like rat ogres and things like that. It's like no, I'll stay fairly pure.
Yep. In the Chaos Dwarf manner. Yeah, absolutely.
Aye, but yeah, it's mad. Obviously, but to go back to sort of the point is when this came out, I was looking at going, yeah, you've got a year at best.
Yeah. And
like the only thing I'd said in my smug self-confidence way was, if you switch to full colour, you've got a chance. And then 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah, and we're still quite a way away from the end.
Far away from the end, which again is even more staggering, and we'll kind of use as the landscape of publishing changes again, because this is the start of the death throes have already happened in terms of the big thing, but the 2000s onwards is where things become aggressively worse. Yeah, because we're November 99, so we're basically at the point where 2000 AD was almost going to go away. If Rebellion had 2000 AD was done. Yeah, moral. Despite there being an audience for it, because the publisher just didn't know what to do. Yeah. Well, I mean, Fleetway Egmonts in 99, they're slowly but surely dying off. Which is, it's one of those things I still can't get my head around, how quickly Fleetway really goes away. Yeah. Okay, one of those things that I don't think as a company ever, Fleetway, I mean, not, so the bigger company never really covered from the Maxwell nonsense. No. Because they were obviously a company, and then that kind of, and obviously 2008 had the big death blow in the 90s of that Lads Mag campaign. Yes. That did not help. No. Oh, God, I remember the 2086 issue very... Even as a stupid, horny 14, 15-year-old, however old I'd been at the time, that felt tasteless and shit. It's more the fact that this was still an era where Menzies/W.H. Smith, delete as applicable, still had porn in it. Mm-hmm. That gradually got phased out. And this was before digital really took over, so this was just the puritanical ways of our lords and masters determining what we can't see. Represent for the small news agents that still, even in the year of our Lord 2026, have a commitment to what I like to call analog porn. There is. I've discovered this recently, and it's funny because we're going to be moving in the next couple of months. I've discovered a tiny news agent that's 2 streets away from me that I never knew existed. And it's like walking into the 70s. It's the best thing in the world. So, there's in Glasgow. If you go for those in Glasgow, if you go past the St Enoch Centre, hang a left, and then just keep walking along. Whereas if you used to go to A1 Toys before, well, A1 was still a thing. They still there's a mail order online, but don't have the bricks and mortar. But there's a newsagent that looks out onto the street, and it's got this big, massive window, and it's got shelves of its wares showing out towards the street, and it's their magazines and periodicals are there. But it's really designed that the top row, again, classic top shelf, looking out towards there is just your row of porn mags. You can tell because it's got the poly bags with the grey stuff, so you can see what's in it. Just showing. So if you walk past and just happen to glance that window, you just... It's still there. It still exists for that discerning person who goes, I'm out and about. What do I need to entertain myself? I know I'm going to go in and buy a porn mag.
Yep, I'm going to buy myself a jazz mag just to see away my Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. It just the last time we were through there, just not long before Christmas, when I saw it just ending myself, it was just like, I love the fact that this still exists. That this is still. It's like someone has done the Picard and planted the flag and went, no more. This is the life.
It's also worth saying for any people who listen to this, because I know there's a few people who are not from the British Isles. Ended yourself means you found it very funny. You didn't just whip it out and bring yourself to completion in the middle of the street.
No. Well, not without having gone in and bought a fine magazine. I feel that would be spitting in the face if I said, newsagent owner, that's not hard work. It's like, he's doing that without ammunition? Nah.
Oh, some imagination that man's got.
Yes, so. To go back, but as I say, we're 2 years in, and we have, possibly what we have is we have our poster boy for Warhammer, the Judge Dredd for this affair.
Yeah,
slowly but surely taking his place, and we have Cal Jericho.
Yep, Cal Jericho, art by Paul Staples Leacock. So I have to zoom in. G-Cock. There you go, Geocock. Who isn't a name I recognise. Is it one that you recognise, Andy?
He's from 2000 AD, and I think he was Paul Staples when he was credited there. So, one of the painterly guys that came about in the early, sort of mid 90s onwards, following in the Bisley footsteps. Now, I don't mean that in terms of he's a copy of Bisley, because he's not. You can clearly see it, but taking that approach, like I say, as I've said before on previous episodes, so Simon Bisley's painted artwork is a bit of a game changer in terms of specifically 2000 AD and painted comics and comic artists in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I recognise his name. I couldn't tell you specifically what he's done. I'm going to assume probably at least a Dread, maybe a Rogue Trooper or something. Did he do one of the Nemesis ones? I think he might have done one of the brief 4-parters.
Let's have a quick look.
In the messy years before Pat eventually got round to doing the final bit. I'm sure he did have, because.
Right. Yes, he did do the final. Just quickly scanning information as fast as I can. Shape of Things to Come.
Yes, I remember his name from it was the bit where Nemesis, Torquemada then swears to find the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches.
Yes,
yeah. And nothing happens for several years before Pat does book 10 because of fallouts and the like.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, I do remember that storyline, but it's if I'm seriously right, you had Karl Crichton. Is that his name?
No, he Karl Crichton.
Karl Crichton.
He did before. Karl Crichton did Nemesis and Deadlock, the Enigmas variations.
That's
Clint
right.
Clint Langley did a 4-parter in his very early painted stuff, just before he did Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing about dinosaurs. And then there was little bits and bobs of Nemesis, and nothing till like the final book, which was Henry Flint, and then Kevin O'Neill in the last part. But Nemesis the Warlock really ends with Nemesis the Warlock, Book 9, Deathbringer.
Yes, agreed. Very much agreed.
At that point, there was a bit of a delay because Pat had a falling out with one of the editorial guys in 2000 AD and basically said, I ain't doing shit for you anymore till you leave.
Oh.
Once he left, he came back. That's why ABC Warriors has a massive gap after the Black Hole Saga. you're basically, it's over a year before, and because Slaying the Horn God's already commissioned and in the works.
Mm-hmm.
But Nemesis Book 9 finishes about Prog 60 whatever. 581 was the end of ABC Warriors of Black Hole, and you don't see a lick of either of them until Prog 700. This is what's in my head instead of social skills and useful information. But we digress. But let's see, if you're getting Nemesis, the later stuff's a curiosity. It's not awful, but it really doesn't. Let's say Book 9 is the thematic ending because it's Purity realizing. Slight spoilers, but the story's been out since 1989, so you know. Is Purity realizing, looking for the quick answer from Nemesis, or neither Nemesis or Torquemada are a good option. They're both as bad as each other, which is the theme of the end.
Yes. Oh, I'll have to go back and reread Nemesis, actually. It's been a while. Love Nemesis.
Yep.
Fantastically. Yeah, anyhow, right. Before we get into a full thing about Nemesis. So, yeah, we are in November 1999. I was going through the cover. Editors, as always, Andy Jones and Mark Gascoigne. Production, Mark Bevan and Ian Pickstock. Yeah, we are into the issue. So, as always, we have
them. Just call them them and then just move on.
Yeah, just that. No, it's because there's the rubber duck joke, and it's just, I just don't understand, but I'm not going to get into it because it's just annoying. So, inside this comic, Inquisitor, cleansing the last vestige of corruption on Nicodemus. DeFay and his pupil Gravier face a truth so great that its very nature might mean the defeat of the Inquisitor. Titan, Viviporius, Princeps Hecate and the crew of the Imperius Dictato face unsurmountable odds in the face of the Tyranids, but first they must face the greatest enemy of them all, fear. Bloodquest.
Listen, Tyranids are a greater enemy, I think, than fear right now.
I think so, yeah. I think if there's nothing to fear but fear itself and also the Tyranids is the way that motto goes. Bloodquest, to continue their quest for the sacred blade in Carmine, Leonatus and his brother Marines must battle across the Blood Sea. Khal Jericho, lost and alone, Khal and Scabs have found the legendary Motherlode. All they need to do now is fight their way out through Ludd and his gang, and a whole host of ravenous scavies. Simple. Next month, Leonatus stands alone, which I now have the Creed song stuck in my head, so thanks Warhammer Monthly.
Oh, that's not Creed. That's you're thinking Scorpion King, and that is Godsmack.
Oh, it is Godsmack. Yes.
Hand in your early 2000s post new metal credentials at the door.
I'm sorry. Godsmack and Creed have a tendency of getting mixed up in my brain.
But yeah, I now have I Stand Alone because it is a banger. And it is on my running playlist for when I'm out running.
Stand alone.
Just get Vic Reeves to do that in the style of. You should do all metal in the style of.
A bum rap the bum ram to
but I'd like to point out that Leonatus stands alone. No, he doesn't. There's a guy just standing right opposite him.
Yeah.
Just details, guys. So that's Leonatus fights alone.
Yeah.
On that, he's not standing alone.
There is a massive difference between the two.
Pedantry for pedantry's sake. We have the letters page.
Yep.
Which the thing that annoys me about this letters page is there's very little actual input from the staff of Warhammer Monthly, which is a massive feeling for a letters page. It's like just actually give answers and do it rather than just this nonsense. So again, it becomes a waste of a page.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a letter here about, please pass by Tsar Nagrund. You'll be a special guest and start an enduring alliance between the planes of Chaos and Tsar. When you come to Tsar, we will play by battling entire slave orc armies against one another. It will be great fun. And it carries on. And it is a really fun little letter. But
the only problem is, and apologies if any of you listening were one of the people who perpetrated these letters in this, previous and future issues, but see people writing in character constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking boils my piss. you're deliberately selecting. It's like one or two would be fun, but just a wall of people basically giving us their drabble / roleplay snippets. Just fucking tedious. I'd actually like to see what people think about the book, rather than I am such and such, blah, 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 blah. Piss off.
Yeah.
It's like you get one decent letter at the end.
Yeah, Patrick Woodley Davis from Perth, Australia. I wish to compliment and give thanks to everyone at Games Workshop who put in the tremendous effort to create a great comic every month and every 2 weeks in the summer too. I have read every issue since the free issue in White Dwarf 218. I can't wait for the Redeemer special, as I am a huge fan of all redemptionists and followers of the Mighty Emperor.
Yeah, your mileage may vary, Patrick Woodley Davis, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts.
Such as Captain Leonardus and Inquisitor DeFay. I also wish to thank Dan Abnett, Gordon Rennie, Simon Colby, Kev Hopgood, Colin McNeil, and finally Fiona Stevenson and Gordon Robson for all their work on the art, scripts and lettering. My time grows short, so I must say once again, thank you and keep up the good work. And then the response. The response is, and if there's one thing I can't stand more than the creepy ultramarine, it's a complete and utter grovelling creep. Curse you, wretch, for your kind words and compliments. Just stop it. Just stop it. It's unnecessary. You don't need to constantly... I understand that what they're trying to do is they're trying to connect into the entire British tradition of having one of the internal characters answer the letters. It is a... something that stretches right the way back into the 70s, really, isn't it?
Beyond that, but you're looking at it as like, this is an entirely worthless page, and it's a case of you are selecting letters, and you're not telling me that you aren't getting something that's maybe got a bit more to say about the content. Yeah. Because I remember a lot of times from this, as I would read the letters page, and it would just be like, this is... Because I genuinely would always read the letters page of any book I was reading, because you kind of want to get a feel for, are other people liking it? Is this cool? Landon? Because in theory, if your editorial staff are good, they're using this to gauge, and it's a barometer of how the book is, and it's also a barometer of how you want to portray the book. Yeah. Because there's a mileage in that you never know exactly how many letters get in are good or bad. Now, Eric Larson talked about it, of Savage Dragon fame, talked about when he was on Doom Patrol very early in his professional career. And he had a pop at the editor because any of the letters were always about his art on the book. Like, there was never any letters saying, Eric's art's all right, or I don't mind it. He would make a point of putting critical letters on it, and that's the editor's choice. And he had a pop, and it's like, right, and it's like, you go, yeah, actually, yeah, fair play, because you're only seeing that. This should be telling me the temperature of your audience. Yeah, you can have some fluff and some flavour in, because actually you do want some dumb stuff. It doesn't need to be I found this to be perfectly cromulent. But this is just a fucking... It's like, this feels like no fucking effort goes into it. Yeah. This is a fucking waste of a page. The letters page is always, and more so I think in British letters pages than in American ones, but it's always hang on, don't jump in. I don't want you to be slacking off for colonial cousins. No. What I mean is that there's two different train of thoughts that happen when it comes to comics letters pages. British letters pages have a tendency to be, they can be a bit silly, but they can also be a peek behind the scenes, whilst American ones, that's how you connect with your audience. I mean, both of them obviously connect with their audience, but historically, British letters pages have a tendency of going, well, yes, and here's a little bit of information. Now, what you've got here is just 6 letters that are... I mean, don't get me wrong, I think David Miller's from Scunthorpe's absolutely right. There should be more squats in the comic. But there's very little in here which is the beginning of a conversation, and there's absolutely nothing that responds to it. And as a result, why is it here? Why have they chosen all these letters? You should have a multitude of different themes going through the letters page. It can't all just be the same thing. And it just seems to be the same thing constantly. Yeah. Unless these are the only letters they've got, in which case... find another use for the page.
But if they're getting that little in the way of responses, how is it surviving?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, remember, it's about your engagement and participation there's enough. Like, I very rarely write into comics in my life. I wrote a couple as a kid. They never got published. So, publishers. In modern days, I've wrote a couple, mostly TF, and all IDW, because, I sent one to Chris Ryle when they did the Shaun of the Dead mini for IDW, just because they got Jason Bracehill on covers, and I'd seen his work in a couple of years. And it's like, oh, you've got him back. Very nice.
Yeah.
And Ryle replied to me. I got an email reply, not just published, but I just said, yeah, it's cool. I was like, oh, very nice.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. But a lot of times, it's like Patreon. It's like, I support quite a few things on Patreon, but I very rarely comment on it. It's like you're getting my support. That's what you need. Yeah, there will be people who do that. So your letters page isn't going to be necessarily a reflection of the entire reader base, but it should be there as a temperature check, because you've motivated people to get in contact with you. Yeah. Now, part of that is there are people who sometimes just do it just to see if they can get published, and clearly people have went, oh, people write in the style of characters, they'll always get published. So you're gaming it. So you're actually getting, it's like, are you getting any fucking relevant feedback to how your book is landing? Yeah. Is anyone telling you that Darkblade is tedious dreck? That you need to put Cal Jericho front and center of this book? Too many stories shit the bed at the end. These are my opinions. They may not necessarily be that, but I can't believe at the time there wasn't anybody reading it going, yeah, this is a problem.
Well, I genuinely don't understand why there isn't more people. Now, whether, for whatever reason, Darkblade landed differently back then, or people were more forgiving about it, I don't have the answers. But I do find it surprising that people aren't writing in saying, this is awful. Or maybe, because it was a passion project for Dan Abnett of some description, they just weren't publishing those letters in order to keep Dan Abnett on the book, on the...
Yeah. Given he is 50% of your writing staff, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that is the case. And it's one of those things I very much doubt we'll ever find out.
Yeah.
Right then. So, should we get into Inquisitor?
Yeah, speaking of Dan Abnett.
For the first time, but not the last for this issue.
So here we are with Chapter 9 of Inquisitor, Book 1, The Taint of Nicodemus. So the final chapter, Dan Abnett, as we mentioned, with script, art by Simon Colby, and letters by Gordon Robson. So last issue, we found out that Sarthos was a wrong-un all alone, and he is actually part of the family and has the Taint of Chaos upon him. Defay beheaded him, but that really didn't do much other than unleash the demon within. Yep.
Oh, good God, he's... Do you remember the comic Virus?
Is that based on the film?
It's what the film's based on.
Oh, no, I don't recall the comic. I remember the film.
I'm sorry.
I've seen worse.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely. But, the original was a Dark Horse comic, and it's a very, very good bit of biomechanical horror. And that's all I can think of when you see Sarthos' face just on his big, tendril, bioorganic neck.
It was more speaking to kind of Ash from Alien / the Phalanx and X-Men was kind of where I was kind of going with that.
Yep, I can see that.
However, loving... So you're basically the top tier of 3 panels, not all jaggedy and overlapping and kind of chaotic, which is what to convey the energy that is at the top tier. And it's just the beautiful range of expressions on the Sarthos Demon's phrase from Colby, kind of just from irked to frothy madman to smug prick.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the dialogue. You saw through it all. I expected no less. I knew, and now the power of chaos is mine. My kin in the clan realized I would burn them all if I became preeminent. I need someone like you to shear away all the dead weight of the family line and let me stand triumphant. You have my eternal gratitude. Choose your manner of death. I can make it quick. I love him. I love him to bits. He's a proper madman. He's great.
Yeah. He's got Defane Gravier all wrapped up in sort of demon tendrils, and it's like, so I've unlocked a vile demon of chaos. Do what you will, filth. Forgive me, Gravier. Pupil I should have seen. Gravier's looking quite shocked. And Sarthos just leaning in and going, don't feel bad, Defay. I will sing your praises to my Lord Sinch for eternity. You've liberated me.
My mistake. Thought you'd be a bad loser.
What I love about this page more than anything is what you have here is purely from a storytelling, and so this is all Colby. Mm-hmm. It's not to say I'm not an average writing here, but you've got a very static scene.
Yeah. By
construction, you have the hero is restrained. He's hanging on meaty tendrils. The name of my concept. Meaty tendrils.
That's the name of this episode, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep. So you've got him restrained on meaty tendrils, and the demon sort of can move around, but you're focused there. So you're not getting a lot of dynamic storytelling, and by that I mean you don't get the easy way of doing big fight scenes or what have you. Yeah. So you're having to rely on actual staging of this and positioning and lighting to make that, and also the expressions on the face. And this is Sarthos. I mean, Defay's got his mask on anyway, so it's kind of, you look like martial law, Spawn, delete as applicable, whoever's got a fucking face mask. So it's all on Sarthos, and it's just, I say, Colby's having fun, because it's, I say, when you get a scenery chewing villain, you can go to town.
Yeah.
You don't have to do, there's no need for subtlety or restraint. This is full on, like, let's push what we can do. Making it cartoony, but without taking it too far. There's a balance to it, and he hits it. The last panel with sort of the one eye half shut, the other eye wide open, it's like the demented grin. Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
Yeah. And you get this amazing dialogue, and I'm going to try my best not to just go through it all, but it's some of it's so good it has to be kind of focusing on the thought you'd be a bad loser. Chaos is the great devourer, the enemy of humanity, and I have been made its pawn. My duty to the Emperor has been manipulated and corrupted from the very start, so just kill me, if that's what you intend. Kill you? No, I want you to join me, Defay. I feel the pull in your soul. I see your untapped power. You are mad, vile thing. Not so mad I can't recognize a kindred soul. You are angry, thwarted. Let that frustration go. Let that rage speak in your mind. Turning an Inquisitor to the paths of chaos will be a crowning glory to my apotheosis. This is great 40k dialogue. It
is ripe and purple in the right way.
Yeah.
There is one thing. Anytime any fucker's ascending to power, particularly comics are really fucking bad for it. Writers love to get apotheosis in.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking can't help themselves. It's like a fucking reflex, like Pavlov's conditioned writers. If you're writing something about godhood, from a wrong one, get apotheosis in there.
Absolutely. It's a great word.
Excellent, but there are times you're just like... to be honest, for this one, doesn't feel like it's actually the right choice of word, though.
No, because it's not a apotheosis as such, is it? He's basically going back to what he should be.
Not even for that. It's not even for how the character's kind of been portrayed at this point. It's kind of like, you can say he's changed, so he's maybe changing, but it's more just that it feels, let's say, all joking aside, just not quite the right word.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what he should have said, but it doesn't feel quite the way... I'd have had something else, but it doesn't hurt it. It's just an observation at this point.
Yeah. It's less of a... It doesn't feel like a a singular enough word. Yeah,
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's not a clanger. It doesn't sort of hurt that because it's still conveying what the story's going. But it's more just I'm reading it and I'm kind of going. It's like I feel there's another word there or a better or something a bit more verbose rather than something so succinct.
Yeah.
Might have been the choice. But you also have the thing of comics are limited. You have limited space to do your words, so you kind of have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
So Defay shouts through his mask, "No!" And again, Sarthos just like, "Are you so sure? This thing, what if I tear him in two?" And he proceeds to start doing that.
Yeah. I want to draw attention to, I love how Sarthos is moving around the panels. It's so creepy and it's so lithe and wrong. I love it.
It's one of these things about story. It's a subtle thing in storytelling that if you pick up on it, is watch how a character is angled. It's why if you look at one of the best studies is look at the early Ditko Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
You look at every angle. You look at the way Peter is angled as Peter, and it's almost always straight on. All there. Anytime he's in Spider-Man, he's tilted somewhat. You're very rarely getting full-on traditional hero shots. That kind of changes when John Romita Sr. and others take over. But he keeps it off kilter. Keeping your character's positioned at an angle always, it's meant to be unsettling, and you pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of these things. It's one of these things as well of if you want bits of characters popping off out of the panel, it makes them feel bigger.
Yeah.
These are little. They sound ridiculously simple when someone explains them to you, but you don't notice them because if I'm telling the story right, it's part of it. You're just taking that in as part of processing the visual language of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, you all have them. Have the head slightly cocked. Have it there. Again, are they crouching, leaning forwards, making themselves bigger, making themselves smaller? But you say, yeah, he's moving in and around. He's the one with agency right now. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So most of your shots with Defay are fairly static. No, he can't. All he can move really is his head, his mouth. Everything restrained. So it's like, no, all the movements coming from that, they're static and they plays off each other and creates that the dynamic and the feeling of movement.
Yeah, and it gets it so well. Yeah, you can almost hear the slithering that weird long neck makes.
And as the meaty tendrils start to pull Gravier apart, Defay does what he can do, which is shout.
Yeah, well, yeah, he shouts and then accesses his inner Cyclops, connects to the punch dimension, and blows Sathos up with his eyes.
Yeah.
That's not a thing Inquisitors can do. The fuck?
So it feels like his energy, not so much, they've used the optic blasts to come out rather than energy burst because, as we all know, eyes are windows to the soul.
Yeah.
So very nice short of hand because what you have at that point is once he blows him away, Gravier and Defay start to fall, but the energy is emanating from all of Defay.
Yeah.
He's trying to restrain himself. He's like, what? It's like, what am I? What am I? It will not conquer me. It will not. Emperor, save me. And he's just... And Gravier's like, Master, rather than... Which, to his credit, because normally you would expect unclean, bolt to the head.
Yeah, it's interesting that Gravier, maybe because it's so early on in his studies, but Gravier should really just pull out a gun and shoot Defay in the head for just blasting with warp energy. I do want to point out how good is that skull still wearing the little hat.
Yeah.
It's goddamn. So yes, Gravier is surprised and shocked and doesn't know really what to do. Forget this, I beg of you. Forget what you have seen. Forget what that thing made me do. Lord, I wouldn't. Don't. Just don't. And DeFay makes a break for it. He runs. Although, he staggers, and then obviously he pegs it.
Yeah. And so we get the final page is just entirely narration from Gravier, and he basically says, "Emperor, forgive me. I filed a report in my master's name. Certain details were omitted. Nicodemus was purged. I did not say how this was finally achieved, nor did I relate the mistake made by the demon Sarthos. I had seen something in my master, a power it malevolently decided to awaken and release, a power it utterly underestimated. I reported my lord was now resting. In truth, I know he has fled. Ashamed, terrified, disgusted, terrified perhaps of what he may be. He is gone. Yet by the throne I have faith in the Inquisitor DeFay. Emperor be my judge, but he is not evil. Those with psychic gifts can serve the Emperor, not oppose him. I pledge my life to finding him, to discover the truth of his nature, for good or ill. If he yet serves the Emperor, then I too will serve him in my turn. If not, as my lord himself taught me so well, the only reward for a heretic is death." From the life of DeFay by his pupil Gravier, encrypted section. End of book 1. And the narration accompanies a scene of basically Gravier getting everything, getting his cases put away, going on the wee gondola, and we cut to DeFay's already legged it in a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Has he legged it on their spaceship? Is he stranded? Is he going to have to get an Imperial shuttle or what have you?
Well, I'm going to assume the answer to that is yes. DeFay has taken the spaceship that they came in, which means Gravier is stuck on that planet until he can find passage somehow.
Yeah.
But
so here endeth book 1.
And I'm putting my flag down, Andy. This is brilliant. This is a good end. This is. I'm a fan of this. Oh, are you?
I think it falls flat at the end.
Do you?
Yes, not. It's very much there is no foreshadowing of you have mysterious energy in you until the very end. This feels Deus Ex Machina, and I hate using that as when criticising the story because it is one of the laziest things to do. But it very much is like, how can you do that? Oh, because you've got secret powers in that I've just unlocked that there's been no hint to just now.
Yeah. Yeah, but
really,
but I don't disagree with you. But I think the idea that his psychic powers were kind of like so buried that DeFay didn't really know they were there. And then just the shock and the horror of finding out that he has them.
But you have had the opportunity to show that he's got them.
No.
The bit with you did. There's the bit with the young guy in the castle. The one that was found innocent.
Yep.
You don't fear of torture or anything. How did he get out of him? You've got this. This is where you go into. It's like show don't tell. You've just told me he's got powers and then released them.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you could have foreshadowed that quite easily throughout the story.
Yeah. I think for me,
there's ways rather than go, because all this does is I've wrote myself into a corner. How do I get him out? Because he's already chopped his head off. He clearly doesn't have any super god-killing anti-demon weapons on him. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have Chekhov's gunned it in the story partway through. But that's it. Again, it's just you need to foreshadow some of that. That is very much just I can sense something in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's no. If book 2, book 3, however many books it gets, if it gets any more books, you can read that in the context of a greater thing, and it probably doesn't carry as much, doesn't feel as thrown out there. But in the context of what I've been reading, this is a MacGuffin to get out, and that's it. It's not particularly good MacGuffin, well illustrated, but it's like no, you needed to plant seeds for this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. I kind of like the fact it comes out of nowhere because it does feel like a shock. It's like going through it the first time, it was just, what the hell? and it just, because it comes out of so much of a left field.
But the problem is, for me, for that, is if you wanted to do it that way, it should have happened quicker and there should have been more stuff about it. The problem is there is no impact to that.
No, because DeFay legs it straight away. Yeah,
so it doesn't, let's say, it doesn't work. As it's presented, it needed to be foreshadowed. If you want it to come out of nowhere, he basically, Sarthos goads him very quickly and he evaporates him, and then you have a much more pointed exchange between DeFay and Gravier.
Yeah.
As it's presented, it does it a disservice and does the story a disservice.
That's interesting. I think this is the first time we're not in sync on one of these endings, because I genuinely really like how it comes out of nowhere. It's I don't disagree with you. I think that's, from a storytelling point of view, you're absolutely right.
Coming out of nowhere is fine, but
it needed to have weight. Yeah,
it has no weight. It's just, oh, there it is, and a vague hand waving at the end.
Yeah.
And he with the promise of it. It feels empty. It's like, kind of, like I say, you want to go that way without a nowhere, that's fine, but that's basically page 2.
Yeah. Right.
And then you've got, because what you've done is you've basically, to be fair, you've had him as basically your proper classic Imperial Inquisitor. And all of a sudden, now he's tainted by it. He immediately compromises every value he's got. Forget this, I beg you. Forget what you've seen. Forget what this thing made me do. You've absolutely gutted the character. As you presented.
Yeah.
And it's like you've done the story a disservice by putting it that way.
Okay.
No, you don't feel it's like Lord, I don't, and he just legs it. I have no feeling of this as to how does DeFay feel about that. There is no impact to the story.
No,
there's impact to Gravier in terms of I now have a quest.
Yeah,
we now have another story with a fetch quest.
Oh, I hadn't considered that, but yeah.
But there is nothing on that. Gravier, look at Gravier's pooping at the end when he's on that last panel. It's just like, it's back to what it was. Stern. There's no hint that he's going to do something other than what he's doing. There's no impact to that.
No.
And that, again, it seems to me that James Workshop and Dan Abnett in several cases is not the ending. The landings are being screwed. They're not awful, but they're being screwed nevertheless. Like, I came away from this after, like, I've enjoyed the fact that he's done enough to, again, I say, it's not that this thing's been badly written. As we said, our criticism have been mostly about pacing and but I say we've enjoyed how Sarthos kind of obvious bad guy to no, maybe he's not, to maybe he's self-centered, to no, he's proper wrong. Brilliant. Excellent. But he was also the most interesting character in the book.
Oh, yeah, absolutely he was.
There is now nobody of any real interest because you had an opportunity with DeFay there to give me a character. Give me something, and you don't. There's nothing there.
No.
I think that's your conflicts now that you've examined this.
I suppose, what they've done there is they've left the door open for a continuation of the story for book 2. Yeah. Now, I'm sure it comes back for a book 2. I'm fairly sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of pans out. But no, I see what you're saying. I think I think for me, the ride that this last issue goes on, it overwrites any of the negatives, because I really enjoy just how much something happens out of nowhere. And I'm going to put my hand up and say the reason for that is Colby's art. Colby's art, if I think it had been almost anybody else, I wouldn't be this happy with how it ends. but the art is so damn good that it papers over the cracks in the script.
Well, I love the art. As I've said, I love Simon Colby. The art have done since his early days on Transformers. So, but it's not enough to paper over the cracks. So, like I say, on its as a whole, it's still a decent story.
Yeah,
but it just feels like you've got an end point. I've got to an end. What am I going to do? It doesn't feel like there's a direction.
No,
that's the thing that gets. Yeah. This is what it feels like with all of the fetch quest stories that we seem to have. Is it's all well and good, but the most effective way to do that is have your ending right. It's like writing a murder mystery.
Yeah,
start with your end point and work your way back.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to have the beats.
Yeah,
there are no beats beyond what book one is.
No.
Because Dan Abnett's a good writer and could have either foreshadowed stuff, or, as I said, if it was going to be the out of nowhere thing, you get a bit more recrimination rather than this.
Yeah, and I think that's where I come down at. It needed to have another page of justifying Gravier in discussion, or
You have because what you have is the recriminations. Then just something like "retire to your rooms, Gravier. We'll speak of this again in the morning."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you just have you tweak the last page with just I wake up in the morning and the Inquisitor in our craft is gone, and then just carry on exactly as is.
Yeah.
But you have some. The whole point is there's no impact to. In terms of there's no emotional impact to connect me as a reader to go, well, I'm now invested in this, because Gravier has not changed. Sorry, Gravier is pretty much the same character because he's your POV, your narrator, what have you.
Yeah.
But he is not changed by that at all, noticeably.
No.
Other than he looks like he was tired the last time he was weary after fighting.
Yeah, and I think that
there's no.
Yeah, when he's all hunched over, and then stands up and puts his hand to his brow and kind of puts himself back together, that shouldn't really be there. That should be. He should be more haunted, more concerned. But the fact he puts his mask on, well, I'll rephrase that. He puts his face on and then just leaves. I'm with you. Yeah, I am with you on that one.
Yeah, it's like you've taken for me what was one of the most entertaining stories and just knocked it down a notch. It's not like I say, it's not. This is to be clear, but it's more just, and this is what we kind of talk about. Is like if this was just awful, like Darkblade, we wouldn't have any speculation. It would just be this shit, move on.
Yeah.
But it's because I've enjoyed this, I become invested in it as I'm really looking to see what's happened and what comes out. Like I say, the out of nowhere works if you then have recriminations after of substance.
Yeah,
there isn't anything. If you're going to do it like that, if you're going to do it as is with that, then you foreshadow it.
Yeah,
that we know Gravier's been dealing with this for a while, and just it's a secret. And it's like, I'm loyal to the Emperor, but I'm tainted. And it's like you can infer a lot from that.
Yeah.
And again, is why you can then put in, is that why he chooses to wear the mask all the time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's ways and means of telling a bigger story here,
without having to give us expository dialogue. There's a way to do that, and this just falls between the two stalls for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because of it's another ending that just doesn't quite land, which unfortunately has been something of a hallmark for a lot.
Oh God, yeah.
Not to single out Dan, but a lot of the stories like Shadow, Shadowfax, the dancer, the War Dancer one, with the glorious Simon Harris art that I loved. That ending was just that happened.
Yeah, I mean that was a collapse of a story at the very end. Oh, poor Shadowfast.
I mean, I'm trying thinking, Dwarf, aside from Blood Quest and so the Count Jericho doesn't count, and Demonofuge, I wasn't too hot on the ending, but it was functional. But did Dwarf Lord have a better ending than pretty much anything else?
Because Dwarf Lord started strong, dropped, and then got a decent ending. Demonofuge got a
functional ending.
Yeah,
it didn't.
It was solid, but it wasn't anything exemplary.
Yeah.
Jesus, really? Dwarf Lords?
Yeah. But context is king when you're looking at it. And it's why when you look at judging things on its own merits based on it, because thankfully I cannot remember book 2 of Defay, so it's not interfering with how I'm assessing book 1. And this is just this was a story that I would feel better off had the ending been stronger.
Yeah.
And the ending could have been, as I say, we discussed it. There's 2 ways you could have handled it. One, if you want foreshadow, easy to do. If you want the out of nowhere, give us a bit more recrimination. As a result, you take the sheen off it a bit. And you're like, and again, just with the threat of a fetch quest, which neither of us is really looking forward to.
No. I'm done with fetch quests. I've seen too many fetch quests over the years.
Which is a shame, because it was, like you say, I was looking forward to how this ended. It's like, okay, yep.
Yeah. I think I'm more positive on it than you are, but I can absolutely see where you're coming from. I think it's.
I don't hate it, and to be fair, this is because I'm disappointed in what could have been a much better story. This is basically you're taking this down to a B+.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is it's still a decent mark, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
It just at the very last minute whiffs it, and you always have to remember, from a reader's point of view, you build up goodwill. If you lose it, it can be difficult to get back.
Yeah.
And you're then also looking at, this isn't going to be end of book 1, book 2 starts next issue. Book 2 starts 6, 8, 9, however many months later.
Yeah. There's going to be a break. There's going to be a big break. I'll have to have a look to see when it does come back. But yeah, I don't think it's anytime soon.
No. And it's just, like I say, as I said, it's not bad story. If it was bad, we wouldn't be spending that much time on it. It's because you can see this could have been better.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Yeah, there's. I mean, I'm looking forward to book 2 because I want to see more. I want to see more of Colby, but I'm also interested to see where it kind of goes from here. What the story is. Is it going to survive no longer having something like Sarthos in it?
Yeah.
So that's my interest. That's my thoughts for where it goes. But honestly, I want that picture of Sarthos' skull being blown apart with his wearing his little hat. I want that on my wall. I love it. Love it to bits.
Down Simon Colby at Lawless to see if he's got any pages.
Yep.
A shot.
Should we move on to Titan?
Yeah, so we'll move on from Dan Abnett to Dan Abnett. So, Titan Viviporius 2, The Cremation. Script by Dan Abnett, art by Ant and Andy. That is Anthony Williams and Andy Lanning.
Mm-hmm.
Letters are uncredited. I'll assume Gordon Robson.
Yeah, I think that's always a safe assumption to make.
Or Fiona Stevenson, but I think Gordon Robson.
Yeah. So we have dropped onto Viviporius, dawn on the war world of Viviporius. Our second dawn here, barely a day to disembark the Titans planetside and make ready. The descent via a heavy cargo vessel from the orbiting battle barge was done at emergency speed. It was hardly time for even the most basic Adeptus Mechanicus ceremonies at the landing field. No time at all for a full system shakedown to ensure battle readiness. There are Imperial ground forces somewhere out here, desperate for our support. We are yet to meet or see anything. And you have an opening page of... It's a bit of a hard one to kind of work out. Is that a really big tree, or is it just very close? I think it's very close. What do you think?
It's very close. What we're effectively getting treated to here is a little bit of the fog of war.
Yeah.
That's right, computer games fans. We're going back to that old... But when here, it's an interesting choice to kind of... not a huge amount of heavy blacks, apart from on the tree. So you've got rather than sort of a black sky to contrast, you've got the white to make this feel very expansive, very open.
Mm-hmm.
They're going that they've basically, this is a vast scape that they're on, which giving the Titans, making them feel a bit small.
Yeah, which is a weird choice. It's not a bad one, but it's a strange one. It's not one that you see often. It's the best way of putting it.
Knowing the final page of the story,
yes,
it's telling as to why.
Yeah,
it's a very deliberate choice. So very well done. And again, we then get to see on the next page, we see the Titan just walking, and we then cut to inside the room. We see Hecate talking to Nalan.
Anything, Nalan? Nothing, Princeps. Hecate praised the Emperor. The ash smoke is thick. It is cutting the range of our visual and heat sensors by 60 points. Then no response to our signals. Where are the forces? We race to relieve. 3 million Imperial Guardsmen are dug in here somewhere out here, praying for us to arrive. But where? No signal, no sign, and all our senses are all but blind. I love the fact that you have a panel here of a warhound in the front like a dog.
Yeah.
That's such a great panel. Also, is it just me, or does the other Titan that isn't Dictato, look a little bit like a Marvel UK background character from Transformers?
I was going to say it kind of has a touch of the Death's Head about him, actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
Kind of. Yeah, it does kind of have that. We'll just give it a random face.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that kind of era, that redesign of Titan for Epic 40,000 did kind of feel like a boxy. What did go for boxy robot rather than ornate Gothic cathedrals and what have you. Yeah, and I very much at the time GW were wisely going, we'd best not get too close to BattleTech because they might actually have a go at us. And because we're, again, given that they're notoriously quick to litigate, despite the blatant thefts that they do all the time, they kind of went, so it does kind of have that, and a lot of background Marvel UK Transformers were just boxy robot. That's kind of by design, because you want generics, because you don't want your characters to not stand out. It was always a thing, it's why we're not really touching this, but the Epic 40,000 redesign of a lot of the Titans, I didn't much care for. I liked the original sort of, well, I say original, but like from the...
I know what you mean, the Space Marine Legio Imperialis era.
Yeah, again, it did very much feel like we'll just... You like John Blanche, do you? We don't. And and start sanding off the John Blanches. We don't need it to be too blanchy.
Yeah, if you want slightly less blanchy, thank you. Yeah, I mean...
The thing is, from an aesthetic point of view, just to digress, it's like, if you're doing a military war machine, then uniformity in terms of things makes sense. Yeah. It's kind of this we do. But we already know from the lore regarding the machine gods and all that these things are venerated to and would be customized anyway by their very nature.
Yeah. And
so it kind of flies to them and they just go, yeah, this is the generic type.
Well, it's the difference between Titans being something that Mars still makes to something that we've lost the technology to make them. All we can do is keep the upkeep on these old ones that we've got. And I think that's the difference. That's where the change in design comes from.
Yeah, because it's just like, because the Titan design is, it's very bland. If with my artist head on, it's Blandy McBland.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, it doesn't matter because the Titan's the central cohesive figure that unites. But it's you're meant to, and the whole point about that is not Titan, it's the crew.
Yeah.
Or specifically, the 5 of the crew.
Yeah.
So it's effectively your Enterprise, and they're your Kirk, Spock, and McCoy.
But on the other hand, you get a Warhound, and Warhounds always just look amazing.
Yeah.
And also,
well, just because the Daft gun arms always gave me Zoids vibes for some reason.
Yep.
Always. which is not a dig. Big Zoid fan here.
Yep. One of my ambitions in life is maybe once this is all finished, start a separate podcast where I just go through each issue of Zoids, because the Marvel UK Zoids comic is a phenomenal experience that more people need to know about.
Yep. Early Grant Morrison artwork, writing even Steve Yowell, so the Zenith team worked together for the first time, I think, on that.
Mm-hmm.
You also have some Jeff Senior goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Liberal takings from the Terminator and Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And by liberal, I mean wholesale lifting, the type of which Games Workshop would be proud of.
I think my favourite thing about that Zoids comic is that it was published in Spider-Man and Zoids. And so you got Spider-Man. Oh no, I've forgotten to get Aunt May a birthday present. Turn the page. The Black Zoid! It's like, holy shit, that's Whiplash.
Yep. UK Kids comic thing. But,
it's amazing. But yeah.
So, as the time's going along, the comment is the planet's meant to be lush and rainforested, but something's burned the vegetation, searing the soil. The air's thick with carbon smog. Orbital scans show 20,000 square miles of scorched earth. Tactical Command have dubbed it the cremation.
That's cool. I like that. I am uneasy, but I try to reassure myself. We are Imperious Dictator, Warlord Titan, Destroyer of Planets. By our side, march fellow Warlord Regus Annihilatus, and noble Warhound Vitus Falco. Together we could sunder a world. And then you turn the page, and I love what they've done here. This is brilliant. It is the nature of the foe, Irvin. The Tyranids, utterly alien, utterly intelligible. Maccabee, the ghost of my predecessor, conjured in my mind by the cranial command link. You understand orcs. 2 arms, 2 legs, animal drives and desires. There were enough like us to comprehend and to hate. But not the Tyranids. They are not even remotely human. Who knows what desires burn in their hearts? Who knows if they even have hearts, or yet desires? So, there's 2 things I want to go through here. One is you're getting to access Maccabee's memories. We start talking about what it's like to fight the Tyranids. 2, the artwork does this amazing way of conjuring the Maccabee ghost. It's absolutely brilliant. It's really simple line work. I say simple. It's not simple. It's actually quite intricate, but it's so effective.
If you actually look at what he's doing, he takes out most of the holding lines.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is the rendering, and there are a few solid blacks and bits that you want to have, but most of it is there's no holding line. It's the rendering that would accompany it.
Yeah.
Just again, it makes it insubstantial.
Yeah.
Phantom is again, it's little tricks like that. Whereas, and without wanting to sound old fart, modern they would just basically maybe make it slightly grey rather than black, or things like that. Which I've done myself on time because digitally it's easy to do. But you would either do it if it was a colour comic, they would have done a colour hold. But by that, what I mean is, instead of they would have done that on a separate layer, and by layer I mean they would just use tracing paper or vellum, and it would be held like a solid colour, like a green or a blue, typically, something like that.
Yeah. But as a piece of technical work, how they're getting Maccabee's ghost in place, it's so effective. The really heavy rendered one where he's talking about the memory on Brontissa, where you just have all these lines just swirling around. It's the only way I can describe it is it feels like, you know, at the very beginning of Blade Runner when you have the company logo come up, and it's all just made of the little dot matrix lines going along. It feels like that, which I don't think is accidental in any way, shape, or form. More things like that, please, because that's great. Yeah.
So, he's for trying to find out. It's like, did you ever face them, Princeps Maccabee? It's like, once on Brontissa, my memory is a blur. Alien horror, the stench of fungus, of rot, of mildew, of stagnation. the ooze, the fluid bursts of dictators, impacts, the shrieking, the chittering. That's not actually helping.
It's a joke.
Yep. It's not meant to Irvin. The Tyranids are the foulest things imaginable. I never believed in sweetening truth. We must face what we must face. Know they are the worst kind of terror. Know that, and you'll be prepared. On Brontissa, did you win? We did not. 8 days at the white hot heart of combat. 9,000 dead. Things I never wish to see again. Were pulled out on the 9th day. Then they plague bombed the planet. Good luck, Irvin.
That's proper 40k. Once again, proper 40k purple prose dialogue. We did not. 8 days at the white hot heart of combat. 900,000 dead. Things I never wish to see again. We were pulled out on the 9th day, then they plague bombed the planet. Good luck, Irvin. It's great.
As he straight up Obi-Wan's him and goes, I can't fuck. I'm fucking up. You can deal with the shit.
I'm dead. I'm not dealing with this shit. It's all yours.
Yep. And he's like, wait, don't go. And then Nalan responds to him because, like, Princeps, are you well? There's no one there. And it's like, you are correct. There's no one there. It's like, so you're just talking to yourself. And starts barking orders to obviously mask the embarrassment.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one here. Have you detected the foe in this ash soup? Oh, this is great dialogue. I love it. Oh, man alive. This is proper submarine. This is Battleship Potemkin style close conversations happening as the concerns for war.
So he's done the whole let's get the shields up and get ready, and he's like, and when they turn around and say they haven't detected enemy, he's like I haven't, but we may not have time to make ready. And the other Princeps, like, you're cautious. Some might see it as a weakness. I admire careful planning, and they decided to do the sensible thing of being armed and shielded. Part of those, you deserve to lose, because quite frankly, the minute I was dropped onto that Tyranid planet, armed and shielded, this very much feels like do you think that maybe should turn the guns on now? It does mean putting another 50 pence in the meter, sir.
It does mean we have to change the bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a... You get the feeling that that's just the Imperial way, don't you? That why do something that would make sense when you could do something that has 15 different rights and acclamations attached to it?
Yeah, and they get the analysis in, and he gets told it's carbon, sulfur, potassium, calcium, all airborne and thick in the soil.
By the Emperor! What is it, Princeps? Nothing. Look to your work, Moderate Vos. I cannot voice this for the sake of morale, but the scans confirm it. The smoke, the black ash underfoot. We walk upon the dead, bone dust, cindered flesh, molten weapons, the 3 million guardsmen we were sent to relieve. Oh, shit.
The burden of command, but it's quite obvious the minute they said, the minute they say calcium, it's like, yep, dead bodies.
Yeah.
You're wading through what were the military you were coming to relieve.
Princeps, I have a reading directly ahead. By the almighty throne, the radio traffic. All I hear is chittering. This is it. Find me a target now, Moderati. Now. Chittering. Maccabee's words. My fearful heart thudded in my chest, and I loathed the fear it signifies. I looked at the viewer, dreading what I will see. And, as the smoke wafts away, I understand Maccabee's fear, realize my own terror, and understand why so many have died. For there is a absolute swarm of Tyranids and a Bio-Titan that takes up the entire page. Hot, holy shit.
Aye, yous are fucked.
You are doomed. Oh my god. Yes. Look at it.
This is it, Dan. So this is good Dan back.
Yep.
He hasn't dropped the ball. masterpiece in pacing. It's just it is the proper. We're at the quiet bit before shit drops.
Yeah, and
just let it ratchet up.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan comes in to just stoke the feeling. Go, there you go. This is what's about to come.
Yep. Yeah. You need to be scared, and then you see why. Oh. This is great. This is really, really good. I love, and it's interesting that once again you get a lot of slow, quiet moments in this, and it was the same with the preview issue, so to speak. What was episode 1, but we are charitably calling episode 0 of book 2. But in this case, that quiet gives way to such an amazing end. That reveal is brilliantly done.
Well, to go back to what you were saying earlier about kind of the battleship Potemkin, it's kind of the Navy battle. So that was the thing. It was long periods of silence and still then quick bursts of frenetic, oh shit, we're about to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, it's kind of what you want, because
yes,
if this just becomes Titan shooting things, it's very dull.
Yeah. Big robot go smash is only interesting for a short period of time.
You need context and all that, and some form of emotional drama to go along with it, as well as just it. And as we said, just by the very nature, you're going to get a turn and shoot, because that's how they're designed. So you're not, again, even for the artist, you'll be struggling to try and make it engaging from a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
So what you need is, let's deal with tension, let's deal with drama between the humans involved, and then you'll get your big moments of your fighting. And then we'll go back to it. And that's pretty much how it will be, ebb and flow, but it'll escalate up, because it's like that's a biotype.
Yeah.
I'm going to similar, will be more.
Well, yeah.
Given this is clearly a spur of a high fleet of some description.
Yeah, aye. And the fact that the entire planet has been molten down. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of nids on there. The reveal where Hecate realizes that they're walking through the remains of everything that was on there, everything that was alive. It's such a good reveal. And
the question is, did the Tyranids do it, or did the humans do it themselves?
Little column B, does it really matter at this point?
We're supposed to see whether we get any confirmation of that, just because we know from before, it's like the Imperial was like, well, we can't let them take it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we all know it's like, if they get you, you are just fuel for the biomass. You're just making the enemy stronger by being taken and consumed. So, and the Hive Fleet will exhaust lots of resources getting there. So if you can take out the biomass, they've got nothing to do other than their own biomass to feed on.
Yeah. You do what Krypton did, which is blow up a heavily civilized world so that the Tyranids starve, moving from system to system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to find out, was this planet virus bombed? I don't think it was, because the Tyranids wouldn't be there if it had been virus bombed. Yeah. But
like I say, this is either did the Tyranids do it, or did the Imperials do it themselves?
Yeah,
like they held out for as long as possible, because we know from the laws, like, signals take the time that a signal can take in the warp to get where it needs to be varies depending on narrative desire.
Mm-hmm.
if we need this to be important for the story, it will get through quickly. If not, it's going to take years.
Yep.
So there's no, again, you've got them, they're holding out. How long have they been holding out? It's like, did it get to the point? It's like, let's just nuke this place.
Yep.
We deny the enemy victory, and you trap them on a world unless they decide to try and consume themselves.
Yeah, which of course the Hive Fleet, if it realizes that it doesn't have enough energy to get off world, it'll just consume everything that is in the army, and then use it just to keep the hive ships going.
Yeah.
Which of course means that they're going to be much easier to attack.
Yeah, but you're also noticing that there's no mention of any hive ships in orbit.
That's
to suggest there isn't.
true. Yeah. That's a very good point. Yeah, there was nothing in the last issue either. Yeah, no, yeah, it's just.
So is it an advanced raiding or scouting or whatever? But the high fleet moves on,
Mm-hmm.
which again potentially is why that the Imperials could have just nuked themselves, because like they won't have the ability to get off world. We won't sustain them. Bang, they'll die.
They'll starve to death here. Yeah. Yeah.
Is you'd be thinking, it's like, I mean, while I'm no military tactician, before I set foot on a planet, if there's a high ship above the planet, said high ship would be nuked to fuck from orbit to ensure it can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the Space Marine Scouts were sent to do, wasn't it? It's like, oh, you want to be a full Space Marine? Get in this missile. We're going to fire it at the hive ship, and then you're going to go and dismantle it.
Yep. So we can actually then go and have an engagement on the ground. So, yeah, I've been trying to see where this goes, and in terms of, so a lot of interesting questions to pose in terms of where, which is again good. I like this, Dan.
Yep.
Because Titan is one I can blow hot and cold on just by its very nature.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, big tanks. It's, again, because effectively that's how you're just basically you're doing submarine/tank command.
Yeah. Big ass tanks. But I think there's a lot that you can do with that to make it work, and this is a perfect example of that. It's a great issue, a great installment in the Titan story. Really like that.
It's also the fact it's very brisk as well.
Yes.
It's only 6 pages.
Yep.
Or 7, I should say. No, 6, I was right.
Yeah, 6, yeah. It is actually, weirdly enough, it feels like there's more in it than there actually is. It's a very well paced, very well put together little story. I'm impressed with that. Really impressed with it. Let's just hope it continues.
Yep, I know. I'm encouraged again to say the story is opening up, and again, while we know there'll be certain things that you're just going to get big dumb fighty stuff for a bit. You always have to, and that's it. But there's enough at the back of it to make me go, what's this high fleet doing? Or what is this Tyranid force there for? Is there something deeper?
Mm-hmm.
There are questions to be asked, and hopefully answers to come over the next few installments.
All fingers are crossed. All fingers are crossed. I want this to be good. Please. Yeah. Shall we move on to Blood Quest? That's the end of the Dan Abnett for this issue. It's
yep. To the back half or the Gordon Rennie section now.
Yes, it's like one of those old DC flip books. Now we're onto the Gordon Rennie section of the book.
Seems very much like classic 2000 AD, where basically everything was written by either Pat Mills, John Wagner, Alan Grant, or pseudonyms of the Messrs. T.B. Grover and F. Martin Candor.
I always like Martin Candor. That's such a great name.
Well, F. Martin Candor was one of my favourite pseudonyms when I found out, because I quite liked this stuff, and I was like, well, that's just John Wagner and Alan Grant. It's just so it doesn't look like there's only 2 people writing the comic. So we open Blood Quest with a nice double-page spread, and basically a love letter to Man of War. And Adam probably took 5 minutes after he read it to compose himself.
Only 5.
Yeah,
I was useless for a week.
So it's basically loads of ships. The one commandeered by the Blood Angels is coming down the middle, as the rest are all just attacking each other. Massive braziers on each ship, fireballs just arcing through the sky, tentacles of horrific Lovecraftian things underneath dragging things down, and you can see bits of wreckage, what looks like potentially bits of armor. So not every traveller fares well. And again, all the things Lots of skulls, lots of horns, basically metal as fuck.
Yep. Yeah, that's you can hear that, can't you? You can absolutely hear the drums going on this one. Enemies of metal, your death is our reward.
Oh yeah, I mean, full color. This is a Halloween album cover.
Yeah, absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely. What I quite like here is in the opening paragraph. The second paragraph has the journey begins on the Sea of Blood. Sea of Blood? You mean the first expansion for Man-O-War?
Yep. Oh, I think Gordon very much knows his audience with this one. It's like, here we go.
Yep. So yes, trapped on the demon world Eidolon, Leonatus and his blood angel exiles must travel through the realms of each of the 4 demon prince rulers in search of the lost sword of Belarius. Their journey begins on the Sea of Blood, home territory of the demon prince of Khorne, and where they have come under attack by the rival war fleets of the demon prince's most favoured champions. I really like the idea that, for whatever reason, the Khornate area is nothing but shit battles.
Well, again, if you go back to kind of the blood for the blood god, all that good stuff, is like you're going to eschew and try and get away from projectile weapons and all that, and it is going to be, because although it's blood, it's not just about the blood, it's about it's the thing that sometimes gets missed, it's about the violence and the slaughter.
Yeah.
So hence why Khorne Berserkers as all chain axes is getting its close combat.
Yeah.
So you kind of go, yeah, you don't need fancy weapons. You're going to do it the old-fashioned way with your fists, or with a weapon you can hold in your hands. Killing at distance is for cowards.
It's why I quite like the mental imagery of like boarding actions and things and how that would work out. It's a nice mental image. Nice is probably the wrong word.
And you also have the fact that the Space Marines, Leonatus, have to lean into it just by very nature, because they have to conserve their ammunition.
Yes.
Because realistically, this isn't a competition for them. Because it would just be bolt, 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 bolt. Oh wait, we've got through the Sea of Khorne, we've got no ammunition, and we've got 3 other realms to go.
Yep. Yeah.
And so they're going to lean into it because they will be capable hand-to-hand combatants based on their training alone. And we see at a distance, watching all this, is the Demon Lord's servant familiar, Quug, watches the battle with his master.
That obstatful cruels. He fights well, my lord. See, his vessel has broken clear of the pack.
My thoughts exactly. In his haste to seize the prize and win your lordship's favour, he's forgotten about his old rival, Harkan the Reaver.
It's great. It's so good.
I always love a fucking snivelling, hooded little shit.
Yeah.
It's a really bad guy. It's one of the best double acts in kind of fantasy science fiction. Is always have it. It's like your dark side and your Desad. DC being that, but just you're always your little snivelling crony.
Yep. Absolutely. The Demon Lord cares little that his lieutenants slaughter each other in the hope of gaining his attention. All that matters is that the survivors, the chosen of Khorne, grow stronger, and their Chaos God receives his due. The souls of the defeated. Blood for the Blood God. Skulls for the Skull Throne. And you got this guy just being pulled down by big old kraken tentacles. Ah, yes.
To be fair, he doesn't really need to be pulled down. He's wearing, quite frankly, very heavy armor. He's fucked him up a lot. But again, what we're seeing here is that there's no concession to that being any kind of form of power armor either.
No,
there's no back. That is just, this is armor. There's no gubbins. You've no breathing equipment or anything like that. You are just done.
Yep. Well, it's interesting because the only way in these first 2 pages this looks like it's in the 40k universe rather than Fantasy Battle is the fact that the Demon Lord has a chain mace. What would that?
It just looks like a very stubby chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's like the chode of chainsaws.
Chain chode. There you go. It's just a chain chode. Chode sword. Oh no.
Where my jaggy chode?
What are you, half cat? Yes. Oh, no, stop it. The prize being so savagely fought over, the ship carrying Leonatus and his squad across the Blood Sea. Another one gone. They seem to care more about killing each other than attacking us. Perhaps. But now the victor of that last battle has come to claim us for itself. Palamon, Proteus, stop them from getting aboard. And then you get just the boarding actions. And they're all got spears and swords and axes, and these guys are just Chaos Warriors, which I find deeply unfair that they're throwing Chaos Warriors at Space Marines.
I think there's some concession in having some Marine, because if you look, there are a couple of the studded Mark 7 Poggrins. So you, again, clearly saying, no, this is just, if you've been fighting for potentially that long, you're, again, the armor will be repaired and replaced so much, and so you probably don't have anything left. So it's just like it'll be stripped of all kind of tech, and it'll just be basically what it is, ceramite or what have you, plates.
And then, of course, crack grenade. Now, do you remember 3rd edition 40k crack grenades? Ooh, oh gee. And that's a nice representation of it just being croom and gone.
Yep. And then as they topple over the side, his name is Arkan the Reaver. He has been many things in his time. World Eater, Space Marine, traitor renegade, champion of Khorne, but always a survivor. And he twats his axe into the side of the ship. It's like he's lived for millennia and he cannot remember how many thousands he's killed, how much blood he's spilled for the Blood God, or how many comrades he's betrayed. Because one of his pals is like, help me, Lord. And he just does the sensible thing of taking his axe and chopping his hand off so he falls to his death.
Yep.
He is Arkan, champion of chaos. Nothing can stand in his way. And I am very much liking his Magneto cosplay helmet.
Absolutely. I love how the armor's battered. You can tell the armor's battered by this absolutely beautiful rendering.
Yep.
Oh.
Just the ink washes helmet deal are fantastic.
Yep. 100%. This, I know I keep going on about it, but the McNeil's art, it calls to me now compared to how I was quite cold on it to begin with. It's 10 out of 10, no notes. Yeah. It's so good.
So Arkan starts to make his way aboard the ship, and then it basically gets a face full of explosion. And takes him out.
It's so good. Just this entire page of how Arkan is this absolute badass, and he just gets his face blown right off by a power fist. Starboard side clear, brother captain. No problems here.
He is Cloten, Blood Angel. He doesn't give away easily. Like,
it's so well done.
It just needed another guy to just go, Arkan, he was only 1 day till retirement. And back on the bridge, Leonatus is like, brutal. I'm beginning to think we might actually make out of this madness, perhaps. Then barking from one of the Marines, brother captain, your attention. Enemy vessel coming straight at us. We're going to be rammed.
And the ship that rams them is freaking massive.
Yep. So all Marines, brace for impact, brace for doom. Oh. I love anyone uses a doom for a sound effect.
Yep.
For impact. Walt Simonson's the best for that with Thor.
Yep. 100% agreed. There is something about a good doom.
Yep.
And then...
Basically,
I did not expect BloodQuest to have me giggling this much, but... Because
Greetings, I am Quug, servant of the demon prince of this realm. My master congratulates you on your victories so far. He hopes that you will give him an equally memorable battle now that he has come to claim his rightful prize, the soul of the one known as Leonatus. Dun, dun, dun. So, the best thing about it is the amount of, aside that just makes it, is the amount of dead chaos. Now, part of me thinks, are they dead, or did they just fall over when it crashed? Now, I know the answer, they're the dead that Leonatus already killed, but you could look at it as if to say, they just, they get up, you lazy.
They all just toppled over. Oh. Oh, god damn. Blood Quest just goes from strength to strength, doesn't it?
I mean, there's not a lot happens in this. As we're just slow, because again, we know we've got multiple realms to go potentially.
Yeah.
Unless they find out after that, but it's explaining, it's setting the stakes. Good bit of drama. Nice little moments where, again, they say you get a nice wee bit of flavour, a bit of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very bleak, very amusing, and just again we're building up anticipation for, because Leonatus is kind of been pulling the strings and taking a little bit of a backseat in terms of doing things in this. You're now going to get this is him now.
Yeah.
You're because it's one of the tricky things about sort of when you're juggling when you're doing a small cast and things like that, is giving everyone a moment to shine. And if you have a lead character, try not to have them overpower everything so it doesn't become the Leonatus show. Mm-hmm. So he's done a good job. Gordon Ramsay's done a good job of just dialing him back, but still showing he's effective. He's the one that's holding everything together, but showing everyone else again can hold their own.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that, because one thing I was going to mention was Cloten seems to be the one that kind of takes the center stage more often than Leonatus. Yeah,
I think it's more you're showing that there's a mix of like novices, recruits, and mix, but Cloten's kind of the firm, steady pair of hands.
Yeah, right. So one giant, firm, steady hand.
But he's the one that will be able to do stuff as and when.
Yeah. Genuinely, I'm going to look at that picture of Cloten smashing Arkham's face off for like weeks. It's the best thing. Genuinely, it may be the best thing that the comic has ever created. I love it. But I'm impressed. I am really impressed with where Blood Quest is going. And you're absolutely right. As an actual narrative, not much is happening. But it doesn't matter so much because we're getting all these wonderful little moments that keep things moving forward. Yeah.
No, again, not everything has to be, and that's the point, is you do want to basically give... You still want to have... not everything needs to be, so you do have... There's scope for just the big dumb fight installments.
Yeah.
Because it's part of what you want anyway. It's like I love superhero comics, and I do like sometimes the quiet issues where they're not in costume, not doing so much, but there comes a moment where you need to have them put the costume on.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the best one's probably Daredevil Born Again, when Frank Miller and Mazzucchelli. Daredevil's barely in costume in it, but you do get a couple of moments when he's in it.
I'm always reminded of the original Ultimate Spider-Man and how long it takes to get Peter Parker into costume with that. But when he does, it feels earned. It feels like a punch to the sky moment. But yeah, all in all, more Blood Quest. Just keep bringing me Blood Quest. Actually, there's a point. The original Blood Quest ending, where would you rate that between sort of Demonofuge and Dwarf Lords?
I enjoyed it because it basically was, again, it was opening up the story.
Yeah.
To say, but unlike you, I was kind of on Team Blood Quest from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you were something about a Johnny Come Lately.
I still say those early Blood Quests, they're not for me. They don't work for me. But as it's gone along, it's pulled me in.
Yeah. Again, not everything will, and that's the point. Just I think also what's helped with Blood Quest is kind of you have a very distinct feel for both books as well. So because although Blood Quest is a fetch quest, it's in the fucking title.
Yeah.
I know, but what you've got is you've clearly, unlike Darkblade, for example, it's very clearly delineated in terms of the parameters of the quest have changed dramatically, and you're not sort of relying on shit happening in between panels or in between pages to fill out a story that's kind of wafer thin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Again, let's say Team Blood Quest is out of the ongoing features, it is head and shoulders above everything else.
Yeah.
Cal Jericho's not quite there yet because it's not really an ongoing. I'd say that's a recurring.
Yeah. It needs to get a good 6 issues of the story in there before you can tell. Which, of course, we're on to episode 3 of Karl Jericho now.
Yep, so Gordon Rennie back again, Karl Kopinski on art, and letters by Gordon Robson. So we have, obviously, after last issue, Cal and Scabs have found the Motherlodes. They are in this Archaeotech Horde, which also has loads and loads of skulls. So we get another of our... I do love fake literary references and things.
Yep.
Say from Warcraft onwards, it's always been good. But here's your dictionary, your 40k World Dictionary definition of Archaeotech. Archaeotech, now Necromundon, being the common term for many of the many wondrous and mystic relics of the golden age of technology that continue to be found amongst the ancient high cities of Necromunda. Despite intensive investigation by the exploratory magi of the Adeptus Mechanicus, local legends of a vast and undiscovered repository of such relics, the so-called Motherlode, continue to prove unfounded. The archives of Tech Magus Ipsissimus of Mars. So, tell us what you know. One in the alley for you, Ipsissimus. Yeah, wank.
I'm going to just quickly draw attention to something here, which is either going to bring a big smile to your face or make you glare daggers at me. Ipsissimus is the second time in 1999 I've read that word. Do you know what the first time was? Yeah.
Was it Spawn Wildcats?
It was Spawn Wildcats! A crossover that I know is absolute knackers, but I love to death.
Yes. Spawn's daughter Cyan grows up to be the zealot in the Wildcats of the future. I remember it well.
It's amazing. It's absolute knackers.
Written by the I'm slumming it for a fucking paycheck, Alan Moore.
Yep.
Art by Trevor Scott, I think,
yep.
of Alpha Flight reboot and early Stormwatch fame.
Yes. Yep. It is one of my all-time favourite crossovers, bar none. I love it.
Inked by Sal Regler.
I'll take your word for that one. I can't remember.
I think you need to independently verify that right now, just to prove to the readers and listeners what a font of absolute useless it is.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to look it up now. Spawn Wildcats. I mean, the thing is, it's not even the worst Wildcats crossover. JLA Wildcats is so much worse. Yep.
And it was Scott Clark, not Trevor Scott.
Well, Scott Clark, yeah.
Scott Clark and Trevor or did both do Stormwatch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at that cover. That God damn, I love that. That crossover is one of my all-time favourite things ever. I love it to bits.
Yes, but we digress. So you have a very nice, well-staged opening panel where you have Cal and Scabs basically in a spotlight from the hole that they dropped in, and a lot of black ink, basically because, see, if you're having to draw Archaeotech like that, it's a lot of fucking time to do all those green, the wee lines and stuff. So let's just, there's enough of a suggestion, and that's because the idea is you want to say, it gives you the suggestion, you know what it is, but you can, let's say, the artist isn't spending a lot of time on that when he should be spending time on the characters.
Yeah. It's enough to set the environment, and you don't need to do much more than that. And
again, Scabs is like, oh, we're rich, it's great. And Cal, however, proving to be the smart, pragmatic one, is kind of kneeling down in amongst the piles and piles of fucking skulls and points out, I was just looking at these human remains. There's rather a lot of them, don't you think? 2 immediate thoughts occurred to me, Scabs. 1, we're obviously not the first people to have found this place. And 2, all our predecessors probably thought they were going to be rich as well, which rather begs the question as to why their mouldering bones are lying here all around us. Scab suddenly wakes up, goes, oh, do you think there might be something guarding this place? It's like, I think we should make sure that we don't meet the same fate as the rest of our fellow fortune hunters here.
Fucker, bam, bam, doom.
And turns out it's Ludd and his gangers. Scabs is asking, how did they find their way here? And it's like, and Cal's like, blind luck, probably, just as we did. And again, at that point, Cal's like, tempting as it maybe we can't really let the Scavies have them.
It's all purely for the most mercenary of motives, I assure you. We'll need Ludd and his men to shoot our way back out of here, remember?
So your question is, does he really mean that?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of...
Is it just the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've kind of had, as we said, Cal is your kind of your rogue, not quite anti-hero type, but you're kind of questionable morals, but not irredeemable. But you're like, yeah, because it's like, interestingly, the Scavies are kind of just portrayed as kind of generic bad guys in this.
Yeah, rather than the people who've been run out of homes and towns and the like. Yeah.
It's just interesting that it's kind of, it just occurred to me there. It's like, really? It's like, are you... Because again, I know a lot of the Scavies the gent tends to be anyone who isn't them, they will obviously probably kill at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say that there's not any justification in it, but it's more just, it's like, yeah, it's a little bit of lack of nuance there, actually.
Yeah. I suppose we're seeing it from the imperialistic point of view, so yeah. But
again, it could just be as a case of he realizes that it doesn't matter if I let the Scavies wipe out and do, if Ludd and the Scavies have a fight, whatever happens, I'm going to be screwed if I try and get out here anyway.
And it's probably going to be easier to try and bargain something with Ludd than it would be with the Scavies.
So more of self-interest rather than any kind of horrible bigotry / prejudice on Cal's part. That's good.
I do like this page where he drops down.
Yeah.
With so much energy.
Chainsaw in hand, Ludd's still there being carried on his big plinth by the poor saps who suddenly haven't realised we could just drop him and fuck off. He must pay really well.
Or their hands are super glued to the poles.
No, because they set him down before.
Oh, they did, yeah.
So, I'm assuming he must pay really well, because otherwise, this guy's about, find your own way back, fat man.
Just drop him on the floor.
We are out of here. But yeah, so you can see kind of it's almost a last stand. There seems to be an infinite supply of Scavies at this point, and a dwindling number of Lud's operatives. Scavs makes himself useful and stops one of the Scavies with the harpoon gun, one of my favourites from when I was playing Necromunda.
Absolutely. You can't beat a harpoon gun.
Correct. So he manages to jump out of the way, and it allows him to kill one of Lud's guys. And it just happens to be the one who stole his last pistols. So he does the sensible thing, because the dead body isn't eating them, he's getting them back. And starts taking out Scavies right, left, and centre.
Mm-hmm.
I do love how a last pistol's so good in Necromunda. So shit in 40k.
Yeah, it's the difference between something that can actually kill and something that's a fancy flashlight. Yeah, it's...
one of Lud's men's basically barking orders saying, fall back, find somewhere we can fight them off from. He happens to have a grenade dangling from his ear, very Spikes Harvey rotten.
Mm-hmm. My ear! You tore my scabbard ear off, Jericho! I'm gonna... Survival now, death rates later.
Basically, lobs it, big explosion as they run away. And unfortunately, the explosion in the underground hive doesn't do much for the stability of the roof. As Helmer's rump, the whole place is coming down, says the boy running beside him, until some of the place comes down on him fully, and he stops saying much of anything.
That's a proper splat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely splat. Oh.
And then we see Lud again as Jericho's back with all that's left of Lud's quarry, which is only a handful of people.
Yeah, and he's down off his big chair.
Yeah.
I see
but
that.
It's still being held.
Yeah, so... Lord, is it my imagination? Have we been here before? Now, what happened to our business arrangement? No, no mistake. Now that we found the mother lode, you and your associate are superfluous to requirements. But you still need us. Those scavies will find another way in here, and you don't have enough men to fight your way back out again. Forget the mother lode, Lud. This cavern is one big hivequake waiting to happen. If the scavies don't get us, then the next series of hive tremors will. You have no idea. You have no idea how much I enjoy listening to you begging for your life, Jericho. Do you have any other reasons why I shouldn't just kill you now? Yes, I don't know how, but the hivequakes, the scavvy attacks, us finding the cavern, all the bodies here, they're all connected, Lud. Can't you see it? And you get this wonderful 3-panel page where a guy's listening. He notices some little bits of dirt and earth dropping on his head. He looks up with absolute horror and goes, "Vit!" off panel.
Yep, it is wonderfully staged. Just like he looks to the left, looks to the right, then just the dirt hits him. He looks up, and as Jerry was saying, there's something else in here with us, Lud. Something more than just a fortunate ancient architect. As the guy just gets waked up, and he's like, "Disappointed, Jericho. Truly, I am. Is that the best you can do? Enough of this nonsense. Kill them both." Yeah, the guy is screaming, and you look up, and there's a big, dirty, giant kind of
Muto spider.
What's that?
Muto spider.
It's going to say kind of bits of carapace on it, and kind of very tyrannidy, actually.
Yes, yeah. It does have a very tyrannidy look. I don't think it is. It's one of the big Necromundan sump spiders are a long-running thing. Well, they're back from confrontation. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just a very big one. Which is weird that it's another Necromunda story that has a spider in it.
Yep. God, I love spiders.
I do love spiders. Spiders are ace.
Yeah. And again, with that point, it's like, and Gabs just look up and it's like, you were saying?
I do like how the guy being manhandled into the spider's mouth, he just got his legs kicking and thrashing around as his thing's just very nonchalantly chewing on him. It's, that's nasty. That's real nasty. There's something about this installment of Cal Jericho, and it reminds me of something like a really gory dinosaur story from something. I've got half a memory and I can't quite get to it. I'm gonna have to try and remember what it is. Like something that I read when I was probably too young to read it. It's got that kind of almost EIC horror to it.
Yeah. But no, it's the Jericho continues to be, despite it being kind of very horrific, kind of horror trappings, if you will, in terms of how the story's played. The tongue is firmly in cheek throughout.
Yeah.
Rennie does a perfect job of balancing. Again, armed with, it helps having a great cartoonist like Karl Kopinski here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the artwork throughout is just absolutely superb. Genuinely, the guy being bored and then just being schlumped right out of his standing position is an absolute piece of genius. And all the way throughout, once again, I'm really positive for Karl Jericho. This is a really, really well produced, really well made, very good little tale to read. I've got no real negatives to say about it, which is a bit of a strange one.
It's kind of in the earlier starts we were talking about Cal seemed to be very much living in the moment, not seeming to have much of and Scabs seeming to be the more smart and aware one, based on the fact that he was kind of obviously less physically gifted than Cal, and older, having shown he survived. In this one, it's Cal that's taking the lead in terms of, Scabs is the one that immediately goes, "Oh, we're rich." Cal's immediately going, "There's a catch."
Yeah.
Right away, he switched to something is not right here. It's like, we found the treasure and a lot of dead bodies. That tells me no one's ever gotten out to spend said treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Flags. And he's the only, he manages to, obviously, it makes sense. Scabs, very quickly, it sinks in. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, as his smarts come back to him. Whereas Ludd is just, no, too stupid and short-sighted to realise that. He's just like, nope, I've got my prize, I've got it, that's it, it's fine, I don't need you, I'm going to kill you. No.
No. Big-ass spider happens. So that's always going to put a crampner in your plans.
Yeah. But no, again, just it's a nice bit of, without having to go too much and say, oh, look, it's like, no, Jericho's showing you, it's like, no, I'm not just lucky, I am also. There is not just kind of, well, he's not, I wouldn't say you need to say he's overwhelmingly sort of street smart. He's intelligent, he is street smart.
Yeah.
His intelligence is very much geared towards survival, but he is still able to observe and put things together very quickly. So it's not just, oh, I'm lucky and dumb and get by on my charm. There's smarts behind it as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, because this is a great entry.
I have a horrible feeling that it's only, it was only a 4-parter, wasn't it?
It was, yep.
Memories.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're, at the end, it's like, but he's proved he can so far, and hopefully, as unfortunately the common refrain for a lot of stories in Warhammer Monthly is it's not stuck the landing. I think we know that the thing is, for the ending for this, is we know Cal's going to end up with basically maybe something to clear a couple of debts.
Mm-hmm.
Ludd is dead.
Yep.
The spider will either survive or be killed, but you'll not find your way back to the Motherlode, and him and Scabs will never talk about the Motherlode to anybody again. No.
It's because that's a world-breaking piece of information.
Yeah. But it'll be how it gets there. It will be the journey as much as the ending, and I've enjoyed it. I'm like, again, Cal's an interesting protagonist. The art is great. And unlike, the interesting thing is, if you actually, he's actually been more interesting than any of his villains, which is probably the first in books.
Yeah, no, you're right there. Yeah, I think Rennie's doing a lot of work in trying to solidify Karl Jericho, isn't he? To make Karl Jericho into something that can be constantly brought back.
Yeah, but you want to know more about Karl Jericho, not what's going on in Karl Jericho's world, where
We don't know he's an Uphiver yet, do we? That's something that's never actually come up in the comic.
No.
That's interesting.
No, well, the thing is, we don't need to know the origin of Cal Jericho, really.
No.
It's very much like the Han Solo thing of, I don't need to know who you were before you were Han Solo.
No.
Because it's not interesting.
No. No. That's certainly a film that exists and has a running time.
Yes.
But all in all, this has been a very positive issue all around. I know that you're more down on Inquistor than I was, but out of that, the other three...
I'd still say it's the strongest issue to date, because, as I said, you have Inquisitor ends up being a B plus, because you're ending... There's nothing wrong with the ending, it's how they get us to that point.
Yeah.
And there were two better ways to do it than just what they did.
Yeah. And
that's it.
Pretty much what we said about Inquisitor in the penultimate episode as well, that there was a better way of doing it to get us to the end of that installment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it probably is so 2 years in, and I'd say it's the strongest issue that they've put out.
Well, this is the third issue in a row that we've said that. So we are seeing this marked improvement happening very, very gradually over time. I just need to get rid of the two morons at the beginning, and I'll be a much happier person in general.
Get rid of the morons, do something a bit more about your letters page, and you're on to a winner.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's I am happy with that. I am very, very happy with that, and I'm looking forward to doing issue 25 next time, because there's a competition in there that I'm fairly sure we can talk about in great detail.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. So then, I think with all that being said, we will start to get out of here. Andy, where can people find you if they so wanted to hunt you down?
So at the moment, it's pretty much Blue Sky. I do have the websites that I really should actually update and sort, but adtcomics.bsky.social. At the time of recording, a 10-page story in the Great Learning Tree comic anthology has just launched on Kickstarter. It has 10 pages in May, of that from me and Gavin Spence, bringing back time in several decades, Juggermorph to comics.
Yes!
The first Juggermorph material in nearly, 3 decades.
Excited. Very excited.
So that Kickstarter's there just now. It is just slightly over 3/4 to being backed. So hopefully by the time you read this, or listen to this, sorry, I should say, it has been backed. Not sure when the comic will actually ship, because I'm not handling that part. I was just simply, we've got space for 10 pages. Do you want to do something? It's like, yes, I have an idea. So Gav and I did it both. So we both wrote it, drew it. I did 5 pages. He did 5 pages. We both did the script together. I did the lettering. All good.
I do want to point out that Gav's video on Juggermorph is a absolute joy to behold.
Yep. To be fair, all of Gav's videos are good. It's probably the hands down the best Transformers YouTube channel in terms of content.
Yeah. I wouldn't fight you on that one. Not by a long shot. I'm not going to go into the reasons why.
And also, if you want metal cardboard stuff, he's got you covered too. But
yeah.
No, that's what we've got just now. So that's it. We're basically TFN Manchester is all go. That's coming up in 6 weeks, I think. Yeah, 6.
I have my tickets.
Excellent. And obviously work for TFN, the big one in August, continues. And so pretty full dance card. More Juggermorph to come. Gav and I need to sit back down and plan out the next lot. Excellent.
I need more Juggermorph back in my life.
Do indeed. Again, it's been good to have the part to play in bringing it back, and obviously now co-owning the trademark means we can safeguard it so it doesn't go away.
Yeah, you do the Lord's work. You do the Lord's work in getting Juggermorph back out for a much larger audience, I can imagine, this time around as well.
Well, the thing is, a couple of folk mentioned like they were just obviously not being in England, they couldn't get it. And it's like, well, this time round, we'll make sure anyone that wants Juggermoth, we'll do our best to find a way to get it.
Yep. So
I say that in the face of increasing shipping and tariffs and fucking madness that's going on. So how digital can easily sort anyone out. Physical copies, that could be a bit more tricky. But
yeah,
if you want Juggermoth, we have people who want it. So we'll try and find a way.
Excellent stuff. As for myself, you can find my personal stuff over on ADNicol, that's nicol.weebly.com. You can find anything, just search for Fluff and Hammer. We're on everything except Twitex, because shitter is an awful place to be, so I don't have any connection to it anymore. Nor does anyone else from the looks of it. So that's Blue Sky, Facebook, for now. Instagram, all those types of places. The Fluff and Hammer is up on all of those places, so come and join us. And if you have enjoyed this episode, send us an email to fluffandhammer@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of the show and what you thought of Warhammer Monthly. With all that being said, then, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for joining me today, Andy.
Oh, pleasure as always.
And thank you very much to you guys at home for listening, if indeed you still are. Bye-bye.